Good morning, Celebration Spiritual Center. So good to be with all of you this morning. Our prayer champion, Reverend Keelan, is going to open us with prayer, and I invite everyone to stand as we go there.
Happy Sunday. Let's close our eyes. Mother, Father, God, infinite, all-encompassing Spirit, you are here in this room right now. You are grand, you are light, you are love, you are compassion, you are fun, you are joy, you are the buzz, the hum, and the sound that permeates our ears with joy. Yes. And I'm recognizing that you are uniting our friends and family at this very moment. And through this union, I recognize that we are one with you, Mother, Father, God. We are one with the source, and I love you with all of my senses. I love you because I see the beauty in your face. I love you because I hear Happy Sunday from your voice. I love you because I can smell the sweet scents of cologne and oil in this room. I love you because I feel the warm embrace of each and everyone's hug. I love you because I know I'm going to taste good food after this service. And then there's another sense. It's the vibration. It's the sixth sense. It's the intuition. It's the God within that has brought us all together right here in this place. And I'm so grateful that we arrived safely because you are safe. I'm so grateful that our desire manifested this experience. I'm so open to what Pastor Greg and Soul 21 is going to serve on us today. I'm so open to be hugged, to be loved on, and to love on you. And just as we manifested this desire, we can manifest this everywhere in our life. So it's with gratitude that I know that we will be healed, we'll have perfect health, perfect wealth, perfect relationships, and all that we can imagine. And as I close this prayer, recognizing that we are here now, it's with this joy in this moment that we carry forth into our service with gratitude and delight, bliss, fun, and all the buzz we created. And let's together say amen, ashe, and so it is.
And so we put our hands together, being grateful for being right here in the present moment. The past is gone, the future is yet to come. We are here now. I can feel my feet on the ground. I'm in the present moment now. What a joyful place I found. Here in the present moment now. Opening everyone. Welcome to Celebration Spiritual Center. Welcome to a place where we celebrate the magnificence of God in you, through you, as you, all around you. There is nothing but God, and it is good. In fact, the very seat that you're sitting in is the goodness of God. There's no place you can go and not find this thing that we call God. For it is everywhere and everything. It is ever present. It is ever present. It is ever present. Well, I just appreciate having each and every one of you here. As Pastor Yolanda and I were visioning Celebration Spiritual Center, there were a few things that we sort of came forward that we wanted to make sure we always do each and every week. Now, one of those things is that we believe that everything is spiritual. Absolutely everything. And so that includes your cell phones. So if you haven't already done so, please spiritualize your cell phone. Put it on vibrate so that you do not disturb your neighbor, your brother, your sister next to you. Now, another thing we believe here at CSC, and that is close to my heart and Pastor Yolanda's heart, is that we wanted to create an atmosphere that felt like family. And of course, this is Family and Friends Day, but we believe that every day should have that atmosphere. And so we thought about each of you who are here for your first time. We don't call you visitors. We call you guests. Do we have any first-time guests here today? Just stand, please stand. We are so grateful and thankful for each and every one of you. Now again, you're not a visitor, you're a guest. And you know, a guest is like when someone comes to your home for the first time, you call them a guest. But the next time they come, they're family. So we're not going to show you where the knives and the forks are. You've been here already. So in the same way, you're here, this is your first time, you're a guest. But the next time you come back, you're family. So what we're going to do is greet everybody like we're family today. So get to know somebody, hug somebody, say hello, say good morning, say happy Sunday. Let's greet each other like we're family. Portion of our service where we like to take an idea, a spiritual idea or an affirmation, and we set it to music, because what we know to be true is that if you take an idea and you set it to music, it settles in, you can remember it, and I guarantee you will find yourself singing this song later this week at some point when you wash the dishes or brushing your teeth or in the shower. And the idea that we're going to deal with this morning is the power of our word. And we read in the scripture that Jesus said that by your word you shall be justified, right? We hear also in scripture that the power of life and death is in the tongue. We recognize that we have this beautiful superpower to speak things that are not as though they were. We have this superpower to talk about ourselves in affirmative ways or negative ways. So what we do so often, we'll say, oh, I'm not a person that does those things. And so the universe responds and continues to give you situations that match that. But you can start to say that, you know what, I'm changing. I'm starting to become a person that does it. Or until today, I was that person. But I'm choosing to be a different person. And so we recognize that by the power of our word, we can create anything. So this song simply says, my word is working for you. Your word is your worker, right? And it's up to you how you want it to work for you. If you speak affirmatively and you speak powerfully, it's going to go out like a soldier. It's going to go out like a good worker and bring back everything that matches that. But if you're speaking negatively, it's still going to go out like a Yes, my word. My word is working for me. We're going to stay right there. My word is working for me. Everything that we say, our word is working. So be mindful of your speech. My word. My word is working for me. I am attracting to me joy and prosperity. Goodness. I have the victory. Healing all over me. Peace in my family. Goodness is rushing to me. I have the victory. My word is working for me, for me, for me. My word is working for me. Every day in every way, my word is working for me. So I'm going to be mindful of the words that I speak. I'm going to make sure that the words I speak are words of love, words of blessing, words that prosper, words that affirm, words that lift up. My word is working for me. My word is working for me. Hey, I am attracted. Joy and prosperity. Goodness is rushing to me. I have the victory. Healing all over me. In body and mind. Yes, peace in my family. Goodness is rushing to me. I am attracted to you. I am. Joy and prosperity. I have the victory. Healing all over me. Peace in my family. Goodness is rushing to me. I have the victory. The victory. The victory. The victory. Prosperity. All over me. All over me. Hey, oh, yeah. All over me. From the top of my head to the sole of my feet. Oh, it's all over me. Prosperity. The victory. The victory. The victory. Oh, victory. All over me. All over me. It's the word that I speak. 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 All over me. 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 All over me.
morning, y'all. Good morning celebration. One thing that you'll learn about CSC is that our vision, mission, and purpose guide everything that we do. The vision. Celebration Spiritual Center is a God experience that turns on the heart, mind, and soul of the world. The God experience is a realization of oneness that transcends material sense. Our mission and purpose is to awaken the world to the presence of God within and all around us. Celebrate this truth as one family, embody unconditional love, equip humanity to live our greatest lives, and to serve all of creation. We continue with our July message series, The Venture Revisited. Pastor Greg's topic today is, damn it, Morpheus! Sure don't get struck by lightning at this custom church. All right, it's time for your CSC news and updates. Stop binge watching Netflix. Binge watch the truth. You can find all of our weekly messages and music from 2013 and on our YouTube channel. And if you're looking for more content from New Thought teachers, including our own Pastor Greg and Pastor Yolanda, sign up for a 30-day trial of the New Thought channel. An annual subscription is just $20 or $1.99 a month. And a portion of the proceeds will be tithed back to CSC. Giving to CSC online is quick and easy and secure. Go to our website, www.celebrationsc.org, and click Give to donate via our new giving platform, or look for the donate button in our weekly emails. The new giving platform, it makes it easier for you to give, and you can set up recurring donations. I just did that last week, so make it easy. Try it out and save some trees. Prayer time is truth time, y'all. Join Pastor Greg and Pastor Yolanda and our prayer champions at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Wednesday for a weekly prayer momentum call. Access details can be found in our weekly emails, on CSC's website calendar, and on Facebook. Spread the news about CSC. We need your help spreading the word about CSC. Tell a neighbor, bring a friend, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or write a review on Yelp and Facebook. Just a few reminders for housekeeping reminders. Food and drink is not allowed in the sanctuary except for water. However, please make sure that that water is covered. Also, no video or audio recording is permitted during the service. We thank you. We'll see you next week, and we'll all be having good food afterwards.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Love to see all of the beautiful, beautiful souls here today. We have come to the time in our service that we call the meditation experience. And for those of you who don't know me, I am Pastor Yolanda, and I will be leading meditation today. Meditation is important. Why? Because quite often we feel that God is outside of us and we never ever make the connection that there's an internal flow. We can read all of the books, study all of the newest New Thought teachers, but until we internalize our relationship with God, it is just information. It's just knowledge. And that's why meditation is so important, because we get to go within and reconnect. And we always take time in our service for meditation. So let's go ahead and bring our feet to the floor. And close our eyes. Go ahead and lean back in the chair, just feeling how it feels to be supported in life and by this physical representation that is a chair holding you. Grounding down through our feet. And feeling the energy moving from the soles of our feet through the crown of our head with our eyes closed. Just notice the breath right where it is. No need to adjust it, just notice it. And if you're holding anything on your lap, go ahead and release it down now. Get completely comfortable. Palms can be turned down to ground yourself or turned up to receive. And let's bring some conscious awareness to our breath now. And together we're going to take a collective breath in through the low belly. Breathing in through the low belly now. Hold it there. And with an audible exhale, open the mouth and release the breath. Beautiful. Again, inhale through the low belly, now up through the rib cage, expanding the front and the sides and the back of the body. Open the mouth and release. Feels good, and go ahead and breathe the air all the way and up through the heart chakra to the center of the chest. Hold it there. And release. Letting everything drain away now. Just this month we're talking all about resting in the arms of God and what that feels like to you. If you're carrying any burden, any ideas, any doubts, any fear, any worry, this is an opportunity to release that. Bring your internal focus to the heart there at the center of the chest. And within each inhale, draw more energy into the body. Each exhale, release and expand the energy outside of the body. Nice and easy. I rest in the arms of God is our mantra this month. I rest in the arms of God. I allow all that seems to be bothering me, worrying me, frightening me, to just go. Bring your focus to the heart center. And any ideas, anything, place it in the heart and imagine it being absorbed by healing light, just melting away. And as we sing and create this creative container for our sacred time with Source, you just continue to breathe and release. Meditation only requires the breath, nothing more. As we sing, you just relax in the arms of God. Each breath going deeper and deeper and deeper.
Be at peace in my peace. 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 Let my love surround you. Let your spirit find rest. Let my love surround you. Let your spirit find rest.
It's going to breathe.
Be at peace in my peace.
And maybe the shoulders relax a
Be
little.
at peace in my peace.
Maybe the brow relaxes a
Be
little.
at peace in my peace. Be at peace in my peace. Let my love surround you.
Breathe your sacred container.
Let your spirit find rest.
Anywhere that you're holding on,
Let my love surround you. Let your spirit find rest.
as we drop into the silence, we'll monitor the time. You just relax in the arms of love. And if the mind wanders, bring it back to the idea that I rest in the arms of God. And let every thought, unlike love, be still. Now. We hear the sounds in the room. We hear the innocence expressed as a little child, and we remind ourselves that we are that innocent, that loved, that held. And anytime life seems a little crazy, we bring ourselves back to the awareness of the time we gave ourselves. And we affirm, I rest in the arms of God. I rest in the arms of love.
Meditation feels good, isn't it? Beautiful. Well, A Course in Miracles is a text, of course, that we refer to very often. And there's a few things that A Course in Miracles says that I love. It talks about miracles first being natural, which I think is a radical idea, because we think that miracles aren't natural. When we want a miracle, or when a miracle happens, we think it's some amazing thing that showed up. But if it happened, that means that it happened in the natural world. Miracles are natural. But what's beautiful is, of course, also says that miracles are simply a shift of perception from fear to love. Because miracles are an extension of love. Not only that, it also teaches us that there's no order of difficulty in miracles. One of my favorite parts. It's in the first few pages of the text. There's no order of difficulty in miracles. That's important. Because whatever the miracle is that you're seeking in your life, no matter what it is, and we've seen lots of miracles in our community, from supernatural healings, miraculous healings. We've seen those that were told they could not have children and have children. We've seen money, unexpected money and checks come from all different places. We've seen folks that didn't have a home and didn't know where they were going to live, and now they're thriving. We've seen so many. Those who wanted to release, we could go on and on. But what we know is that there's no order of difficulty. So whatever your miracle is that you're looking for, hear me today. There's nothing difficult about it, because miracles are natural. Just as natural as the sun shining, just as natural as our planet spinning 1,000 miles per hour, on time, all the time. Just as natural and as easy as you breathing in this abundant air that you're breathing in, miracles are natural and they're normal. And so now that we know that, we can expect the miracle, yes, yes? Yes. So we're going to just affirm this truth. I'm expecting a miracle. It's okay to put your hands together if you want to put your hands up. There's no limit on what you can be to have. The house. The how is not your business. Your business is to believe and receive. Open your hands. Be available to a new idea. As you spoke to others that you're expecting out, be available to the idea. Be available to the next thing that you're supposed to do. Be available to the thought of who you're supposed to call. Be available to where you're supposed to go. Be available to when you're supposed to be still. Be available. That we can unlock and discover through this powerful movie series. And so in week 1, we started with Walking the Path, based on something that Morpheus says to Neo, that you'll understand that there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. And walking the path has everything to do with even something that Pastor Yolanda was just speaking to, that we amass a lot of information, we read books, and we watch Super Soul Sunday, and we do all of these wonderful things, but we may not actually be applying what we've read or what we've watched. And so walking the path is about living fearlessly and applying the teachings that we've learned. In week 2, Pastor Yolanda brought us an amazing message, Get Up Trinity. Based on that opening scene where we meet Trinity, and she's doing some amazing things fighting the agents, but then she experiences a moment of fear, and she has to say to herself, get up Trinity, reminding herself that this matrix is not real, that she doesn't have to be afraid of what she's seeing or the agents that are coming towards her. And so Pastor Yolanda invited us to realize that there's some choices we need to make. We need to make a choice between love and fear. We need to make a choice between arrogance and true humility. And we need to make a choice between our personal will and the ultimate will, which is the will that is God operating through us. And of course, we understand from A Course in Miracles that God's will is for our perfect happiness. Last week, in week 3, my topic was cause and effect, my love. And we revisited some of the things that the Merovingian talks about in the second movie, where he says that the only thing that is real, the universal law, is cause and effect. And Morpheus challenges him and says that choice is the ultimate law. And what I said in that message is that both of them were right, but for different reasons. And so we talked about the spiritual principle of cause and effect. We went to the Kabbalion and looked at that principle of causation. And then we talked about the fact that choice is the through line through all 3 of the Matrix movies, because choice is what actually interrupts the Matrix. First, Neo had to make a choice between the red pill and blue pill. That's how he was able to move out of the world of illusion. But then he had to make a choice when he realized he could save Morpheus, and he started to realize that he was the one. And at the very last scene in the movie, Agent Smith is confused, and he's like, why do you keep doing all of this? And Neo says, because I choose to. And so it is out of our choice that we can change the trajectory of our life and disrupt our life. And so we're going to move on. In week 1, actually in the closing of week 1, there was something that I shared that's important to what we're going to talk about today. If you look at the 3 main characters of the Matrix, Neo, Trinity, and Morpheus, they each represent some very important aspect. Neo represents belief. And if you go back to the movies, you'll see this, that Neo is constantly using I believe phrases. He's talking about what he believes or what he disbelieves. Trinity represents love and wisdom. As Pastor Yolanda shared with us, she represents Sophia. And so if we look in the scripture, the word that is translated as wisdom in the Old Testament is actually the word Sophia. And so we recognize that wisdom has always been feminine and always been female, and so Trinity represents that. And finally, Morpheus represents faith. And so we're going to talk about Morpheus and we're going to talk about faith today. Now, one thing I want to be clear about, when we're talking about faith, we're not talking about religious faith in the sense of my faith is that I'm Muslim, or my faith is that I'm Buddhist, or my faith is that I'm Baha'i, or my faith is that I'm Jewish, right? And we use that, I think in this modern age, that's become sort of a PC term. But when I use the word faith today, I'm talking about a belief in something that we cannot see. When I use the word faith, I'm talking about what we sang about. When we think about this idea of expecting a miracle, that I can see the invisible. This is what faith is, and actually this does not require us to adhere to a religion. However, it is a spiritual idea. And so this is why even atheists who may not claim to believe in God actually have and demonstrate faith in their life. Now, in the Bible, we have a very famous scripture passage on faith, Hebrews 11. And I'm reading from the New Revised Standard Version. Now, faith is the assurance of things hoped for, or the conviction of things not seen. And we know that. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And so here in that passage, that word faith, the Greek word is pistis. And it means conviction of the truth of anything. It means belief, but it's more than just belief. And it's interesting, what I love, so many times our English language is limited. But when we look at the Greek language, there are 2 different words for faith and belief, although they seem similar. Pistis is faith, and pistuo is belief. And so where we see faith in the New Testament, it's talking about this different type of thing. It's talking about a conviction of the truth of anything. And particularly in the context of the Bible, we're talking about the belief respecting man's relationship, or humanity's relationship, to God and divine things. Now, what I love about this passage in Hebrews, I actually love that we quote Hebrews 1 all the time. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. But in verse 3, there's something more powerful to me that I love to look at. And it says, by faith we understand that the worlds were prepared by the word of God, so that what is seen was made from things that are not visible. And again, I'm reading from the New Revised Standard Version. What is seen was made from things that are not visible. And this is what faith is really dealing with. Faith is dealing with the unseen realm. Now we understand there's a basic tenet and premise within the New Thought philosophy is that our thoughts create things. Yes, yes? Right? Can you touch thought? Can you smell thought? Can you hear thought? Well, maybe, right? Right? But we recognize that our five senses, our physical five senses, cannot wrap themselves around thought. It is something that exists in the unseen world. But yet we recognize that thought creates things. The chairs that you are sitting in existed in someone's mind first before you could have a chair to sit in. We understand that, right? And so this is what this piece here is talking about, that what is seen was made from things that are not visible. But it calls it things. What we must understand is then that the invisible realm is just as real as the visible realm. Everything we see was made from something that we couldn't touch previously, but now we can touch it. It doesn't make it less real because it's a thought. If I say think of an airplane, each of you are thinking of a different type of airplane. Somebody's thinking of a paper plane. If you're like me, you're thinking about those planes I used to get and you would put together, and then you could spin them around and they fly around. Some people are thinking of a 747. Some people are thinking of some other kind of toy airplane. But it's equally real in each of your minds as you've thought of it. And if you allow yourself, you can allow that thought to then create a plane or put you on a plane, or you might go to the store and buy a plane, right? And all of a sudden you've now manifested that thought, that idea into the physical realm. So in the second movie, in The Matrix Reloaded, we're introduced to a new character. I love this character. His name is Commander Locke. And his name is perfect, Locke. Because he represents the antithesis to Morpheus. If Morpheus is faith, then Locke is fear. Because we recognize that faith and fear are the same thing. As Bob Proctor says, that both faith and fear require you to believe in something that isn't real. Right? So we have this beautiful scene where we meet Commander Locke, and he's upset with Morpheus, and he says this: I don't care about oracles or prophecies or messiahs. I care about one thing, and that's stopping the army from destroying the city. And to do that, I need soldiers to obey my orders. And Morpheus says, with all due respect, Commander, there is only one way to save our city. And Commander Locke asks, how? Morpheus replies, Neo. Locke replies, damn it, Morpheus, not everyone believes what you believe. And Morpheus replies, my beliefs do not require them to. This is how faith speaks. See, in our lives, there are things that you may have shared with someone, something that you can see so clearly and feel so clearly within your bones. Although it's not tangible yet, you know that you will experience it. You know that you will do it. You know that you will be it. You know that you will have it. And somebody will say to you, not everyone believes what you believe. And maybe it's just me, but there have been times in my life when that was said, I said, yeah, you're right. And so because everybody doesn't believe as I believe, maybe I can't have that thing. But there's a Morpheus, there's a faith inside of you that will reply back to that negative word and say, my beliefs do not require you to believe what I believe. It's important that as we're applying our faith, that we get to this place, that my beliefs do not require anyone to believe what we believe. And in the third movie, in Matrix Revolutions, Commander Locke, he says something else which just crystallizes who and what he is as fear, and who and what he is as someone that can only see life from his five senses. He said that hope is an indulgence I don't have time for. Have we ever felt like that in our lives? Because things were so real. Your back was against the wall. You need some money tomorrow. You need some money in an hour. If you're like Pastor Yolanda and I, when we were in the early months of CSC, and we had a $4,000 debt that we needed to be paid by that Friday. We could have easily said hope is not an indulgence we have time for if we lived in the place that Commander Locke lived in, but we chose to live in this place of faith. We chose to listen to the Morpheus that's within us, and we prayed. We've been praying all week, but we prayed on that particular day a few hours before the money was due. And we spoke the word, we knew the truth, and then we went on about our business because we had other things to do. And while we were working on some marketing stuff for church. a PayPal donation came in with the exact amount of money that we needed. And I share that not because Pastor Yolanda or Pastor Greg is so deep and spiritual, because we're the same flesh and blood humans as you all are. But we recognize that we had an opportunity to either be Commander Locke and look at the conditions and realize that our back was against the wall and we needed thousands of dollars in hours, or we could stand in this place of Morpheus, this place of faith, and say that my beliefs do not require me to just look at what's happening outside of me, but know something within myself, to expect a miracle and know that miracles are natural. We were not worried. We were not in fear, and we were not doubtful. And so that which we desired came forth easily and effortlessly. So again, I say, as Morpheus is faith, it means that we each have a Morpheus within us. What I love about the Matrix movies, as you go back to watch them, and I've heard this from so many as you've been watching them again throughout this month, look at each character, look at Neo as belief, and recognize that he's representing what your belief can look like. Because when you believe in yourself, you can move mountains. When you believe in yourself, you can stop bullets in midair in your own life. When you believe in yourself, you are the savior of your own life. You can save an entire city. Trinity, that unconditional love that she represented. That love is so powerful that love resurrects. That's the truth of love right there. Love resurrects. If something seems dead in your life, if something seems broken in your life, it is love and only love that can bring it back to life. And then we have Morpheus, who is absolute faith. And so we can think about faith as teacher. How is Morpheus a faith as, or we see Morpheus as the teacher and how faith teaches us? Now, Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich, he says something interesting about faith. It's actually one of my favorite readings on faith in chapter 3. And I always encourage everyone to read that. If you have Think and Grow Rich, or if you want to go out and get it, go to the 3rd chapter. Napoleon Hill writes this. He says that faith is the head chemist of the mind. When faith is blended with the vibration of thought, the subconscious mind instantly picks up the vibration, translates it into its spiritual equivalent, and transmits it to infinite intelligence. Now, this is essentially what we did. As we were singing the song, I expect a miracle every day. God will make a way. Just believe and receive it. God will perform it. What was happening is this head chemist of the mind. Now, in the movie, Morpheus is the leader of his crew. He's the head chemist. Faith has to be the head chemist. You got to lead with faith. Because faith is the thing that, because it sees and knows things from a vantage point that you can't, you want that to go out. Just like with our phones, we rely on the satellites, because the satellites can see something that we can't see. Our GPS relies on a vantage point that we can't see from this place. We got to lead with faith. Okay? And so as the head chemist of the mind, then we recognize, and as our teacher, what does Morpheus do? Well, Morpheus is the one that freed everybody from this world of illusion. Morpheus is the one that freed everybody from this idea of being plugged into this system of control. Morpheus, or faith, is the one that unplugs you from the idea that you have no control. Faith, or Morpheus, is the thing that moves you out of this place of feeling like you're a victim to your circumstances, but recognizing that you have power. Your faith as your teacher gives you the bigger picture. It gives you the larger point of view. It's your faith that will be like Morpheus in that scene where he asked Neo, do you think that's air that you're breathing? Faith is the thing that will do that. Faith as the teacher. But then Morpheus was also a protector. Because what does Morpheus do? He sacrificed himself for Neo in the first movie. Recognizing, knowing who and what Neo was, even more so than Neo knew himself, he was willing to put himself on the line. Faith is willing to put itself on the line for you till you get yourself together and figure out that you have power. Interesting. And one of the things I love when we look back at the movie and faith as protector, what I love about Morpheus being faith and how faith operates and how faith speaks. So Morpheus sacrifices himself, and he's captured by the agents, and the agents have him hooked up to all these different nodes, and they're trying to get the codes to the mainframe of Zion. And you know, Morpheus had been beaten up. He's bloody, and his eyes are rolling up in his head, right? And at this point, Neo is starting to believe. He uses that word. He says, I believe that I can save Morpheus. And so he and Trinity go about that. And they do. They save Morpheus. And as they save Morpheus, Trinity is almost killed because her helicopter, they shot the fuel tank, and Neo has to save her. Now, in the human world, if you were just captured and you were bloody and these agents were interrogating you and your homie Neo shows up and saves you, normally you would be like, oh man, thank you so much for saving me. I didn't know what was going to happen. You know, they almost got me. I wasn't feeling really good. I'm so glad you showed up. I didn't know if you all would show up, right? That's how we would normally react after somebody saved you. But faith doesn't do that because faith was never worried. So how does Morpheus talk? Once they're all on the ground, he begins to start speaking truth again. What does he say? Are you beginning to see it, Neo? Are you beginning to see it? Eventually, you'll learn, as I learned, that there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. Faith just begins to continue to speak from what it knows. It was never worried. He was never worried. He was never concerned if he would be saved or if things would work out. That's how our faith talks. Finally, faith creates a framework. It creates a framework, as Morpheus did, for how we can begin to see the world. As Morpheus was teaching Neo, he was really creating a framework for Neo for how he can begin to live his life. So, of course, in this movie, and using this metaphor and this analogy, Neo receives programs. He learns jiu-jitsu, right? He learns different levels of combat. Faith begins to teach us and give us a framework for life, for a way to see life differently than we saw it before. I referred to this scene earlier in this month because it's one of my favorite lines in the movie. Neo, after he's freed from the Matrix, he asks Morpheus, why do my eyes hurt? And Morpheus says, because you've never used them. And so we recognize that what faith must do for us, faith has to teach us how to see again, because we've been seeing from this limited perspective. We've been seeing from being controlled by something outside of us. We've been seeing life as though we were powerless. We've been seeing life as though we were victims, and so we have to get a new framework. Ernest Holmes talks about it this way in The Science of Mind, and in the intro of The Science of Mind. He says that we create molds. If we look at how iron is created, right? Iron is melted down, and then there has to be some sort of mold that then iron is poured into, it cools, and then it's solid, it becomes that form. But we recognize that iron, when it's melted, can become anything. It can be poured into any form and solidified, it can become anything. This is who and what this thing we call God is. Right? God is not a person or a personality. It's like this intangible form that is ready, willing, and able to become whatever we desire it to be. That is through our expectation. That is through our faith. And so we create the framework with our faith. I love to think about as we walk through Brooklyn, and there's so much construction going on, I love to see all of the frames of the buildings that are going up, because it reminds me how we create. That our job is to create a frame. But then all of the other workers come and they fill in. They pour the concrete in, and they begin to put up the walls, and they begin to put in windows, and they begin to put in the fixtures. All we have to do is create the frame, and then my word begins to go to work for us. Faith creates the framework. It creates the conditions for the manifestation or for the miracle. We see this again with Morpheus. As he's creating the framework, we find that when Morpheus takes Neo to the oracle for the first time, what does he say to Neo? I can only show you the door. You have to open it. Creating the conditions, teaching him everything he needed to know, but then he had to make the choice to open the door to take the next step. Morpheus could offer us the red or the blue pill, but you have to take the pill and decide which path you want to go on, right? So when we understand that we have this Morpheus, we have this faith within us, when we understand, as we sung earlier, that our word is working for us and we can speak anything over our lives, we can expect goodness and prosperity and victory in our lives. I have a challenge for you today. So often we're talking in our lives about lowering the ceiling or breaking through the glass ceiling. I want to look at this from a different way. And I'm inviting you to raise the floor. Why do I say that? Well, see, our floor is our foundation. Our floor is where we start from. And I believe that our floor is too low in many of our lives. Through faith and expectation, see, our expectation is our desire or belief. Sometimes we hear that. Raise your expectations. And what we are expecting is either what we're desiring or what we're believing. Raise your floor. Raise your desire. Raise yourself into a new awareness, a new place of living, a new foundation. Because this is what's required for any change in your life. You do not need new faith. We say this all the time, Pastor Yolanda and I both, right? So often we think, oh, I need more faith. You don't need more faith. You just need to exercise it, right? If I wanted to become a bodybuilder and get like huge muscles, I wouldn't actually acquire new muscles. I would just be developing the muscles that I was already given. Yes, yes? And so in the very same way, by raising your expectation or raising your floor, all you're doing is choosing to use your faith muscle now in a different way, in a more powerful way. It's the only way that you can create, be, do, or have that new thing that you want. So just take a moment and think about what is it that you're expecting. What is it that you're desiring? What is it that you're believing for your life? What Pastor Yolanda and I know to be absolutely true is that there's nothing that's impossible. We sing it every week. We close our service. All things are possible. And that's not just a cute phrase. It's not just a happy phrase, a rah-rah phrase to go out and say and feel good about the day, and then when we get to Wednesday, we forget all about it. But we know it's the absolute truth. Where are you willing to raise the floor in your life? Where are you being asked to raise the floor? Because in truth, you're getting whatever you're expecting right now. Consciously or unconsciously, you're getting what you're expecting. So that means you have to shift to new expectations. You have to shift to a new desire. You have to shift to a new belief. And the beautiful thing about the way life works, contrast, we talk about Abraham Hicks all the time. You may be experiencing something that you don't want right now, that you don't like. And that is giving you the information on what you do want. So whatever it is that doesn't feel good, that doesn't look good, that you're tired of, you can take some time this week to first write down, these are the things I don't want, because these are what you're experiencing. And then you turn the page and you write, now that I know what I don't want, this is what I do want. And now you begin to bring your mind from this positive place of expectation, because again, this is how you're creating the framework. The mold that is God, or the law, the thing that is God that can fill any mold, it's going to respond now to that. And so as you're writing what you do want, you'll actually start to feel your body shift. Your feelings begin to change. You create a new vibration. I didn't get into it today, but in Think and Grow Rich and in The Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes and Napoleon Hill, they constantly talk about the fact that faith can be induced. That it's not something that you have to wait for a good song to come on, then you can have faith, right? It's wonderful. Music works. But it can actually be induced. This is how you can induce it. Begin to write about and think about what it is that you really want in your life. What is it that you want to see in your family? What is it that you want to experience and see in your body? What is it that you want to see and experience in your career? What is it that you want to see and experience in your relationships? But you got to only focus on that now. You can't, that don't want page, you leave that alone. And each day after that, just read it. If you want to continue to write even more, because by law of attraction, whatever thought or things that you're writing about, more things that match that must come, right? So maybe you want to continue to write, but you don't have to. Just read what you wrote day in and day out. I just shared a story last week of how I shifted an experience for myself. I got a call that I wasn't going to receive a check that was due me. And I was upset. And I used this very process. I used this process because I was upset. I knew what I didn't want. And so I focused on what I do want and how I wanted this experience to change. And within days, I received a call and an apology, and that the check would be on its way. Right? We do this all the time. But it's important to recognize that you have power. This is what being free of the matrix is. This is what being free of the matrix is. Recognizing that any condition that you experience in your life is not the last say. Recognizing that whatever is happening in your life, you have the power to shift it. You have the power to change it. And it's through your thought, it's through your desire, it's through your belief that that happens. I'm inviting everybody to stand. Raise the floor, raise your expectation. As surely as we are alive, there are things that we want or things that we want to change, and that's all good because that's how life works. Inevitably, we can get to a place of comfort. Everything that we may have wanted is kind of here. We get to a place of comfort. We kick up our heels, and because you're an evolutionary being and growth and change is always happening, something is going to just show up in your life and you're going to think about something new, or what if I do this, or what if I do that, or it would be interesting to pursue this path in my life. It's going to show up. That's just the nature of life. Are you willing to raise the floor and raise your expectation now to this place that life within you is calling you towards? Are you willing, as Joseph Campbell says, to say a hearty yes to your next adventure? And so with that, we take a deep breath in and we release. Mother, Father, God, we recognize that you are the power, the peace, the ease, the love, the presence that lives within, through, and all, and as all of us. We recognize as you are the ocean, we are the wave. We are the wave that is the expression of the beauty and the brilliance and the power and the possibility of life itself. And as we recognize that you are the ocean and we are the wave, that means that we are never disconnected from you. As amazing and as brilliant and as big and as bold as a wave can be in this life, as we look at the ocean, we recognize that it never loses its connection from the all. It never loses its connection from the ocean. So that is absolutely true of us. We remain connected to our source. There is no separation between us and the all that is. There is no separation between us and love itself, from peace itself, from power itself. And as we recognize this absolute truth, we now speak this word over our lives. We now choose to raise the floor. We now choose to raise our expectations. We now choose to raise our desires so that we can experience something new in our lives. For we recognize that we are not a victim to life. And we recognize that we do not have to manipulate life, but we simply have to allow life to operate in, through, and as us. So here and now, we speak this word over our lives, and we desire a greater experience of health. We desire healing, and we believe that we can be healed. We desire healed relationships, and we desire a healed mind. We desire joy in our lives in every way, shape, or form. We allow and we desire a new experience of joy. That joy that is talked about, that is called an unspeakable joy. It's so good we almost can't say anything, but we just experience the love and the harmony and the unity of joy. We desire happiness in our lives. We desire harmonious relationships. We desire money. We desire wealth. We desire prosperity. We desire to have more than enough. We desire that not only will our bills be paid at the end of the month, but that we will have money to do the things that we enjoy after all of that is taken care of. We raise our desire. We raise our expectation. We stop that conversation of getting to the end of the week or the end of the month. But we introduce a new conversation of thriving by the end of the week and by the end of the month. For it is done unto us according to what we believe, and as we say. I give thanks and thanksgiving, and I am so grateful for each and every one of these souls that are here in this space, in this place, and within the sound of my voice. For I know that each and every one of you are divine, holy, creative beings. And I know that you have the power to speak words over your life and expect good in your life. And so I say that that which you are expecting and that which you are desiring is blessed. I call it good. And I stand with you now, knowing and expecting that good to come forth in, through, and as your lives in the most effective, the most efficient, the most harmonious ways. And as we leave this place today, we leave from this space looking for miracles now. Recognizing that miracles are natural, we look for it. We look for it, and we look for it just as a child on Christmas is looking for his or her presents. That's how we look for the miracle that will take place in our lives. And I guarantee whatever you look for, you will find. For this, I am so very grateful. I release this word now back into the law, back into the cause, back into the how that is always working, and we know that the how is not our business. Together we lift up our voices and we say amen. Amen. Ashe. Ashe. And so it is. So it is. And so it is. Thank you, God.
Have a seat, everybody. So this week we get to lead with faith. We get to lead with faith, not fear. The reason that we are so fearful is because we feel that we are unworthy, and we feel that we have to go and prove who and what we are to the God that created us. That is not what we have to do. And that is why Morpheus is so powerful, because he is showing us that God, this presence, has faith in us. It knows how it created us. It created us perfect, holy, complete. Yes, we made mistakes, but God did not. It called forth each and every one of us as a divine, a good idea. And so this week we raise the floor on our lives. Are you ready to raise the floor? I don't know about you, but I'm ready to raise the floor. Don't ever think that this idea of life can't be good for you because you've made mistakes. Faith is holding the truth of you. Faith is knowing the truth of you. Faith is leading the way for you. And as you go out this week, remember when there is a challenge, because there will be challenges, that I'm going to raise the floor on my expectation about how this works out. I'm going to raise the floor on what I expect my relationships to be. I'm going to raise the floor on how I think my career should be. I'm going to raise the floor on how I think my body should heal. I'm just going to raise the floor in every area of my life and see if I don't move to the penthouse in my life. Thank you, Pastor Ray.
Ushers, if anyone needs an envelope, if you need a pen, please just raise your hand. So ushers are happy to serve you. Let's see, we have a few hands all around. A hand up here up front. We have someone right here up front that needs support. And so, we still have some hands here up front. Now here at CSC, we are very specific about how we talk about giving. So often in many churches, you're ashamed or your fear is being used for you to give. And we don't do that here. Because we recognize it's not about what you give, but it is about how you give. The principle is clear. As you give, you receive. That's how the principle works. And how do we know that? Well, it's just how our breathing works. We breathe in and we breathe out. As we breathe out, we've given, and now we can receive more. The interesting thing about breathing is, though, that when you hold your breath, what happens? Right? You die. And so we recognize that giving is important. You must give, because without giving, you can't receive. But it is not from this place of fear, because there's actually a vibrational component to it. It's about how you're feeling. You can give $1,000, but if you're scared giving that $1,000, or you realize, oh, I can't, this is part of my rent money, that energy is not going to get you the blessing that you think you're going to get because you gave $1,000. So the truth is, give what feels good. Give what you can give openly, without any hesitation, without any fear. I don't care if it's a penny. I don't care if it's $1 million. You got to give from that place, because that's the only way that the principle works. It's not about the amount of money. It's not about what you should give, but it's about being able to give freely. Why? Because the place that we give from when we give freely, we're giving recognizing that God is the source, and this money is just representing the resource of our employment, the resource of however we receive that money. But we recognize that it's connected to a well that won't run dry. So I can give this $5, this $10, this $20, $100. I can give it easily and effortlessly because I know that there's more coming. Right? That's the place that we give from. Not from a place of fear, not from a place of shame, not from a place of sugar. So we're going to give joy. And we're going to give what feels good. Yes, yes? So in this moment, I call our ushers to come forward. And we're going to take a great joyous offering.
Today, Mother, Father God, we stand in the awareness that life is good for us, and we allow our lives to be full of miracles. Today, Mother, Father God, we walk forward in faith. We let faith lead us. We let faith lead the way. Thank you, Mother, Father God, that life is easy for us as we let go of our understanding of it being hard. We raise the floor. We raise the floor, Mother, Father God, on every area of our lives. And so today, we release these words back into the mind that created us each perfect, whole, and complete. And together we say, Amen. Amen. Ashe. So it is.
All right, let's sing this together. I give my love, more love comes rushing back to me.
I give my love, more love comes rushing back to me.
I give my time,
I give my time, more time available to me.
I give my treasure,
I give my treasure, more time opening
as
for
I
me.
give, I
As I give, I receive.
this is so right back.
Right back to me.
Coming right back to me.
Coming right back to me.
Coming right back to me.
Right back to me.
Oh, that I
Coming right back to me. Coming right back to me.
need over back.
Coming right back to me. Coming right back to me.
Okay. All right. So the food and festivities begin at 12:30. Okay. We'll be upstairs. You go upstairs. Our greeters will be upstairs to point you to the plaza, to the tent. 12:30. Okay. So you can stay down here and mingle and love on each other and talk for a little bit, or run out if you need to. But be there at the tent at 12:30. Are there any other instructions?
I think that's it. We'll talk about it when we get out under the tent. Y'all hungry? Good. I'm glad. The beautiful thing about these teachings is that they bring whatever is between us and our good to the forefront. And sometimes it looks like a challenge, and sometimes it really is our fear. But at CSC, we believe in one thing. We believe in affirmative prayer. So if there's something that has come up for you, some challenge, some issue, some belief that you're ready to let go of, write it down and leave it on the altar, and our prayer champion will pray over it all week. You see, at CSC, we don't beg and beseech God. We know where God lives, moves, and has its being in us, and so there's no reason to beg and plead. We just hold the truth for you. So if you're ready to have someone hold the truth for you, leave your worries on the altar back there, and our prayer champions will pray over it all week. And what happens when you do that? When you release the things that are blocking you from your good, when you release the beliefs in unworthiness and sinfulness, when you release all of that, what do we say at CSC? All things are